Live NFL trivia every Tuesday night on Twitch at 9 p.m. Eastern. Come show off your football knowledge and have a chance to win cash prizes. Check the link in the description to find out more. And now, on with our feature presentation. If you've been in this league long enough and you're a kicker, you've had a game where you missed at least one field goal. Maybe you mishit it. Maybe the defense got a good jump at the snap and got a piece of it. Maybe the wind wasn't in your favor or the kick was too far away and you just didn't have the distance. It happens to everyone. Not too many coaches or fans are going to be concerned with the occasional miss. Miss 2 kicks, and that's a bad game, but again, it happens to just about everyone. Miss 3 kicks, and there's some legit cause for concern. If you're not one of the top kickers in the league and you miss 3 field goals in a game, you might have to start thinking about finding another line of work the following day. And if you miss 4 kicks, well boy, that's not good. I'll just put it like that. Let's just say the last time a kicker missed 4 field goals, which was Cairo Santos against the Bills back in 2019, he did not have a job the next day. A game like that is unacceptable. A game like that gives nobody any confidence in the special teams unit, and you're better off just going for it every single time. But what about a quarter like that? What about missing 4 kicks not over the course of a single game, but rather over the course of less than 15 minutes? 4 missed kicks in 1 quarter. And to make matters even crazier, the kicker that missed it, somehow, still had a job the next day. Well, that's exactly what happened in a 1981 game between the Denver Broncos and the Oakland Raiders. To open up the 1981 season, Broncos kicker Fred Steinfort missed not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 field goals in the 4th quarter. And this is the story behind the worst quarter by a kicker in NFL history. Before I talk about the disastrous 4th quarter, we need some context heading into this matchup. And to fully tell our story, we have to go back to 1980. The Broncos seemed to have a noticeable problem with their kicking game and the aging Jim Turner. At one point, Turner was one of the best kickers in all of professional football. Back in the days of the American Football League, he made 2 Pro Bowls with the New York Jets, and was the team's kicker in 1968 when they won Super Bowl III and stunned the Baltimore Colts. Turner joined the Broncos in 1971, and had been there for a decade, finishing inside the top 7 of the league in field goal percentage in 5 of his first 7 seasons. However, by 1978, when Turner turned 37 years old, the wheels were coming off. During the 1978 season, he hit just 50% of his field goals, which only ranked above 4 other qualified kickers in the league. Turner also missed 4 extra points, hitting just over 88% of his point-after attempts, also only above 4 qualified kickers. While things improved slightly in 1979, as he hit over 61% of his field goals, it was clear that his performance was not what it used to be. From 1971 to 77, Turner hit over 67% of his field goals and just under 95% of his extra points with the Broncos. From 1978 to 79, Turner hit just over 55% of his field goals and 91% of his extra points, while going 12 for 28 from 30-plus yards. After a few rocky seasons in a row, including a 1980 preseason where he had an extra point blocked against the Giants, it was time for a change. Replacing Turner after his decade of service was Fred Steinfort. He was on the Broncos at the end of the 1979 season, though he didn't receive any real playing time. Steinfort had a pretty rocky career until this point. He was drafted in the 5th round of the 1976 NFL Draft by the Oakland Raiders, but lasted just half a season there after hitting only 50% of his field goals and 84% of his extra points. He then spent 2 years in Atlanta and did not play well. During the 1978 season, he was an abysmal 3 for 10 on field goals and missed 5 consecutive field goals over his final 3 games. Now, Steinfort was going to be the man to replace somewhat of a club staple. The end result? At least at the start, it was surprisingly smooth sailing. Some kickers just need a change in scenery to become effective, and in 1980, it looked like Fred Steinfort fit that description perfectly. He hit 6 straight field goals to start the season off. He hit 4 field goals in a road game against the Cleveland Browns, including the game-winning field goal in the 4th quarter to give Denver a 19-16 win. Whereas Turner had no power in his leg by the end of his career, Steinfort had a cannon of a leg. He hit 5 field goals from 50-plus yards during the 1980 season, including a 57-yarder, which was the longest kick by any player in the NFL that year. Steinfort led the league in field goals made from 50-plus yards and from 40-plus yards. For some perspective, only 4 other kickers in football had multiple kicks from 50-plus yards. Remember, Steinfort by himself had 5. He had more kicks from 50-plus yards than every kicker in the NFC Central and AFC East combined. And at the end of the 1980 season, his accomplishments did not go unnoticed. Steinfort finished tied for 4th in field goal percentage, hitting 76.5% of his kicks, Back then, anything above 70% was really good, and especially considering the distance in which Steinfort was hitting these and his uncanny accuracy from 40 plus compared to his peers, he had a heck of a season. His 26 field goals made was tied for the second most in the league, only trailing Eddie Murray of the Detroit Lions at 27. And he received some All-Pro nominations from various publications. While the Associated Press never recognized him, publications such as Pro Football Weekly and Sporting News had him as the top kicker in the league. The legendary Dr. Z even named him to his first team. When a player has a great season like that out of nowhere, that can only mean one thing: time to renegotiate the contract. After holding out for a new deal and missing a good chunk of training camp in the preseason, Steinfort signed a new deal on August 19, 1981, ensuring that he would be Denver's kicker once again for the new year. This was a lengthy holdout, but Denver hoped that Steinfort's incredible 1980 season was not a fluke, and was rather a sign of things to come, with a new leaf being turned in his career. And that takes us to this game, September 6, 1981. We're at Mile High Stadium for this AFC West rivalry between the Denver Broncos and the defending AFC champion and Super Bowl champion Oakland Raiders. Obviously, it's important for both of these teams to win this one, since you want to start the season off on the right foot. And early on, it seemed like Denver had the advantage, as the Broncos led 9-7 at the half, following a 44-yard pass by Craig Morgan to Rick Upchurch in the first quarter, and a routine 29-yard field goal in the second quarter by Steinfort. Entering the fourth quarter, Denver was leading at 9-7, hoping to hold on, pull off the upset, and defeat the reigning champion in the league. That's when chaos began to unfold, and when Steinfort had what has to be the worst quarter by any kicker in NFL history. At the start of the fourth quarter, the Broncos lined up for a 51-yard field goal. Again, Steinfort hit 5 kicks from this distance or greater the year before. Unfortunately for him, this one misses to the right. It's long enough, but the accuracy isn't quite there. That's one miss in the quarter, but again, it's from 51 yards at a time where kickers the year before went just 23 for 80 from that distance, or less than 28%. Not going to hold that miss against him. Just shake it off and bounce back next time. A few drives later, Dave Preston intercepted Jim Plunkett, giving the Broncos the ball with good field position just outside the red zone. While they're unable to move the ball that much, thanks to some really conservative play calling, they are in a good spot for Steinfort to do some damage. This one's a way more makeable one from 32 yards. And this one is a complete shank to the left. There's 5:05 left in the game, and Steinfort has missed 2 big field goals in this quarter. It's about to get worse. Kenny King gets the handoff for Oakland and he puts it on the ground. Denver recovers deep in the red zone. While they're unable to get a first down, instead of going for it on 4th and short, they send Steinfort out there for a chip shot with just over 2 minutes to go. This one's from 23 yards. He can't possibly miss this one, right? Well, this is one of the worst shanks I've ever seen. The boo birds were loud in Denver, and rightfully so. 3 missed field goals in the quarter. And somehow, it's about to get even worse. Oakland winds up going 4-out. Credit to Denver's defense for an incredible performance all day. And now the Broncos were getting the ball back in the red zone with roughly 90 seconds left. After the Broncos are unable to get anything going offensively, running the ball twice to make Oakland burn their timeouts, and unsuccessfully passing once to try and catch them off guard, it's 4th down. Sure enough, they send Steinfort out there again to try a 38-yard field goal. And what do you know? He missed again. 4 missed field goals in the quarter. If he hits one of the 4, the Raiders need a touchdown to win. If he hits just 2 of the 4, the game is over. Somehow, he hits none. 0 for 4 in the fourth quarter. What's incredible is that the Broncos actually won this game. They overcame 5 missed field goals and 4 missed field goals in the fourth quarter to win it by the final score of 9-7. Why head coach Dan Reeves kept sending Steinfort out there, especially in 4th and short situations, I'm not sure. But this game proved that the 1980 season was somewhat of a fluke for him. Steinfort finished the season hitting just 56.7% of his field goals, and over the first half of the year, went 5 for 15. Yes, he kept his job after the game. Whereas he hit 5 kicks from 50-plus yards in 1980, he didn't hit a single one from that far away in 1981. Steinfort would not play for the Broncos after 1981. And while he bounced around the league in 1983 with the Patriots and Bills, it didn't go so well. He hit just 7 of his 21 kicks that year, and went an abysmal 1 for 6 with Buffalo before being cut after 2 games. Missing 4 field goals in 1 game is really, really bad. Missing 4 field goals in 1 quarter? As Fred Steinfort found out on this day in 1981, that's gotta be the worst quarter by any kicker in the history of the National Football League. Be sure to like this video, ring the notification bell, subscribe down below if you haven't already, as it helps the channel out a lot, and be sure to check out Twitch every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for your chance to play NFL trivia and win cash prizes. link in the description below. If you want to see videos like this condensed down to 60 seconds, then follow me on TikTok at Jarrogator9 and subscribe to 60 Second NFL History on YouTube. Also, special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters helping the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. So you can become a patron and request future video topics in the description below.